Call the Board of Public Works meeting for December 1st, 2017 to order. First, we have the reading and approving the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next, we have the payment of the claims. I'll just take a look at the blight claims here first. Looks like it's $7,000, and this is for purchases, I believe. Is that right, Brenda?
3 very lovely properties and
I bet.
4 very lovely properties and 2 title searches.
Okay. If you guys got a chance to take a look at that.
Second.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
What were the addresses?
We have 113 West 8th, 68 South Clay, 63 West 3rd, and 118 East 9th.
Sure. All right. Do you have any questions?
Just excited to see more of them coming in.
Yep.
How long has the average turnaround time been for these properties?
These
Brenda's
are-
been the one.
These are going to be a little bit longer, Kristen. We've got most of the other properties that we've had were already added to the program for the initial start. These are all new additions, so it takes a little bit over a month once we get the initial paperwork into the IHCDA, because they'll have to review the houses for historic importance and things like that. Then once we get them added, then we can go ahead and we've got, I believe, 10 properties lined up ready to put out to bid. So we should have those rolling by March.
It seems to have been a really good process so far. You guys have done a really good job.
This last round, we've been able to acquire properties for well under what the acquisition price is. Our building commissioner is a shrewd negotiator. So I believe we're going to save enough money on this last round that we'll be able to add even more houses at the very end.
I would also like to blame that on Brenda. She's pretty good at it.
Thanks.
Is there any other questions from the board? Any questions from the public on the blight elimination program? All right. Do I have a motion to accept the blight elimination claims?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So next we have the regular city claims. We got 301,784 and 64 cents. And did you have any comments on this batch of payments, Tish?
No, one of the bigger claims in there is where we paved down the canal. So that was in there. And there's over $100,000 in insurance payments, so that's the big one. It was basically keeping the lights on with a little bit of paving and a whole lot of medical insurance, so.
No.
Yeah.
Is there?
Right. There was a description. There was a description that I hadn't seen before, and I ran out of time to find it in there. So I was just going to ask you.
Sure.
The description is buy money.
Okay. So, well, actually, it's Mike is here. If Mike would like to explain buy money, but it's exactly what it sounds.
Yeah, it's exactly as it sounds.
Oh, okay.
From time to time, our drug task force has to use confidential informants, and through those confidential informants, we supply them with what's called buy money. So that money is then used to purchase illegal narcotics.
So it really is buy money.
It is actually buy money.
Okay.
But the money is actually documented before we go out, and then we keep a running tab of the money that's spent. But from time to time, we do have to acquire that money to be able to perform that task.
Fascinating. Okay,
Money well spent.
Can be, yes.
Do you guys, when money's confiscated, I guess, is there a relation to money that's confiscated after the fact, in like a purchase, and the buy money that's spent out?
Yeah, a lot of times that money does go away, but there are times that when you do something called a buy bust, and so you'll actually make photocopies of that money. You'll end up selling the drugs to a person, arresting that person right thereafter. You may go do a bust on their house or stop their car. you confiscate the money back, and then that's a way to confirm the fact that the drug deal actually went down, because then you look at the photocopied money with the money that's on the person that took the money from the confidential informant, and it's a way to
Gotcha.
prove your case or make your case stronger.
Okay.
A lot of times it goes away, but sometimes it goes back to us.
Yeah. Is there any other questions from the board on the city's claims? Is there any questions from the public? All right, do I have a motion to accept the city's payment of claims?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Mr. Kern, do you have any update on anything with the city's?
Just that the code enforcement officer and his secretary have had me filing ordinance violations claims, and they have more to come. So I think last month we filed 5 or 6, and she said she had another 4 or 5 to get to me, and just handling the day-to-day stuff. They did push back the closing of the one South Broadway, so that'll be the 6th now. So unfortunately, other than that, nothing.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Oh, I guess not that I don't know if it really affects us though, but they also pushed back the closing on the SRF loan for the utilities because the AMI financing as well. So that'll be at the end of the month now.
gotcha. All right. If that's all you got for your report. Going to old business, we have nothing. New business. First thing on our agenda is Sandy Chittum from the Miami County Chamber of Commerce requesting a change to the farmers market. And I don't have my packet. Here says that they're wanting to change farmers market for 2018. It would begin on the first Saturday in June, run through September, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Vendors will still set up starting at Miami County Museum, or vendors will set up starting at Miami County Museum, run north along the coffee shop, and they may also set up on the sidewalks. So it looks like they want to move to the sidewalks on the corner. I think, did they talk to you, Sandy, or anyone?
She did not talk to me. This was put in my box.
Okay.
There is a note at the bottom that says if you have any questions to give her a call.
Mhm.
The first thing that I thought about when I saw it was if it was ran past the businesses that this would be set up in front of. I don't have any answers to those questions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the museum is open on Saturdays. I'm pretty sure. I might be mistaken on that. And it's been a while since I think Ashley spoke to Sandy, and I believe Sandy spoke with the museum and that they're on board, but I might want to get confirmation on that before we agree to do that, if that's going to affect them. I think it'd probably be good for their business too, though, really.
It could be.
So, I don't know. What do the board have any thoughts on that proposed change?
I think it'd be worth asking all the people that would be affected just to get their blessing. I mean, potentially it could be a good thing, but I'd hate to approve something without, them knowing about it.
Right.
And Sandy, I'm sure Sandy's probably already done that,
Mhm.
but I would,
From a parking or public safety perspective, is there any reason to preclude doing something like this, having the vendors on the sidewalk?
I would say you wouldn't want to panic. It's busy up there on Saturday mornings at the coffee shop. I'd say you got to leave those open, but as long as they leave a path to walk, get in there, don't close it all off like Circus City days.
Yeah.
You'd probably be okay.
I think they probably need to leave enough of a path where people aren't forced to go out onto
Yeah.
the road to walk up and down the sidewalk. People are walking through.
Won't happen to have the handicap width to be able to get somebody down through there.
Mhm.
I think that's probably the only one of the problems. You know, that's what they're gonna have to think about. And like you said, get a hold of whoever is open that day and see if it's okay with them.
Okay.
I would think it probably be quite a draw for business.
Wayne, I'm an assistant, reach out to Aroma and the museum. I think those are the only two that sounds like would be affected. From when they're wanting to set up, but we'll get confirmation from both of them.
I think
And
that
then,
sounds good.
I'd say, like you said, Steve, handicap accessible lane left on the road. And did they want to use some parking spots too? Was that part of it?
There wasn't any on the request.
No, it just says that set up on sidewalks.
Gotcha. I was wanting to think that they were gonna have it kind of wrap around
Yeah.
the side.
I just think, you know, Rochester does theirs around their courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering why they don't
Like
utilize
block on
that.
Fifth Street.
Yeah, that brick, the old brick road, what,
Yeah.
Court Street, I mean.
Yeah,
That'd be
even
kinda
that or
cool.
just Fifth Street along there because, I mean, there's still entrance to the museum in the front. There's nothing on the side till you get down to Berkshire Court and they would have plenty of room to set up and they're not open on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So that might be a proposed option if this doesn't work with the other business owners on Broadway.
So, I guess I'll propose that I'll have my assistant give both those businesses a call, get their input, and have some kind of input from them for the next meeting. And maybe we can ask Sandy, like you said, about having it along Fifth Street, so that we wouldn't have to worry about blocking off the sidewalk as much. So,
Table it until
Yeah.
next time, pending more
I
information.
agree.
yeah,
That's a motion.
okay. Have a motion to table.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Next, we have a request from Vicki Draper on behalf of Second Saturday, requesting permission to give wagon rides on Broadway during the December 9th event.
Okay, I'll speak on behalf of that. What that's going to consist of is we have a horse carriage that will start at the depot. The depot has a play that night, so we won't be able to utilize their parking lot. But I think we're going to load and unload at the Literary Aid right next door. They're going to give us permission to use their parking lot. The ride will go from the depot area down Broadway, stop at Santa's house in front of the courthouse. We've already talked to Todd about getting that all blocked off so we have access in and out. Set up cones as the carriage comes in. Somebody will move the cones, they'll pull in, offload on the sidewalk side. And then it'll go from there down and go behind Los Tres and then back down Broadway and stop in front of the Artisan Gallery on the opposite side of the road. And we'll have a couple spots blocked off there to where they can pull the carriage in and offload there and then back down to the depot. And that'll just run continuous throughout the night.
Did
Is
you
this
want to
not-
do the depot or did you want to use that municipal?
Well, the reason why they're gonna go ahead and stick with using the Literary Aid is because they have already advertised the depot.
Okay.
And a lot of people knew that that was where one of the onload spots were at, but because they have a play, we really don't have use of that. Worst case, use it on the side street in front of the Aid, there's a couple of parking spots there. We just wanna keep the line of people off the road and then have them load from sidewalk side.
We'll probably on that, we'll probably just build a chute with wooden barricades down there in front of Santa's house and maybe in front of so that you can just run in there. You don't have to worry about cones getting kicked out of the streets. We'll set it up. We're probably not going to do that till Saturday. We'll come in here and do that on Saturday.
Yeah, and you probably wouldn't even need to do that as long as there's not a car sitting there the 20 minutes prior to starting it. And then we'll just set the barricades off onto the sidewalk after the event.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. All right.
Now, Mike, is there anything for you?
I was just down in Indianapolis this past weekend. They have those carriage rides all the time, so they run right along the street, just right along with the cars there too, so I see nothing wrong with it. I mean, obviously, they probably know better, as far as like lighting it up in the back and make sure they're not gonna get in the back end, but
Yeah, and I would assume this lady does this all over the state, so I'm assuming they have some sort of flashing light on the back or a red light or something to indicate, so you can see it at night.
And
So this is a
Broadway
horse
extremely
driven.
well lit up at
Right.
nighttime too. You really could almost drive through without your headlights on, quite honestly. So I think it's a great idea. I think it'll be good.
So this is a horse,
Yeah,
a horse pull?
horse carriage, yeah.
Oh, that's really
I
cool.
wish we were talking about it, we wish
So
that we
horse
could,
of course.
but it's gonna be an issue with parking. Perfect setup would be just cone or barricade and run down the bike path and the parking spots on this new pavement each direction. Never get out in the street, but I know there's gonna be cars.
And a lot of the thing too, the reason why we wanted to do through town is because people that come to enjoy the second Saturday can actually see it from a different view going through town and, give it a little more of a Christmas feel downtown.
Yeah, that's gonna be really,
Is there a charge for the rides?
I don't think so. I think we've raised enough money that I don't think there will be a cost. I think it'll just be first come, first serve, and I want to be the first one. It was my idea, dang it.
that's great. Is there any questions, I guess, for the rest of the board, i.e. Kristen?
No, I think if you all think it will be all right, I think it sounds great.
Is there any questions from the public? All right, do I have a motion to accept the request on behalf of Second Saturdays for the wagon rides on Broadway?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next, we have clerk treasurer is going to open the bids for demolition of buildings and demolition of garages only for the board's review.
Brenda was kind enough to put one of these sheets in front of you because
Thank you.
she recognized that Kristen, sometimes you like to keep track of yourself and you guys like to know what's going on, so I thought that was very sweet of her. Okay, the first thing I've opened is from B&G Hall Enterprise. Quote demolition of house at 357 Washington Avenue for $8,500. $8,500. And again, that was for 357 Washington Avenue.
You can do everything except
B&G Hall Enterprise second bid is for 322 East 2nd Street and garage for $9,500. $9,500. Can I hand that? The next bid is from Wade and Beth Ames. Bid number 1 is for 357 Washington. Ames and Son demolition bids $7,350 on 357 Washington. Their second bid is for 322 East 2nd Street. And this bid from Wade Ames Son Demolition for 322 East 2nd Street is all structures, $12,500. Looks like the next bid is from Merritt and Son Excavating. Okay, the first bid is for 357 Washington Avenue in the amount of $8,300 for Merritt and Sons. And the second bid is for 322 East 2nd Street for $9,700. You want to do that for me?
Yep.
You are the best. Okay, the next bids are from Sailor Excavating. First one for 357 Washington Avenue for $7,950. Second bid from Sailor Excavating is for 322 East 2nd Street for $8,875. The next bid is from Alan Jackson. $357 Washington, the bid is $10,900. And 322 East 2nd Street, the bid is for $10,500. The next bids are from R&B Contracting. The first bid is for 357 Washington. And it looks like it's $24,840.
24,840.
840, yes. You got it? The second bid from R&B Contracting for 322 East 2nd Street is for $29,786. The last bids look like they're from Chuck Shane. It looks like this is only a bid for 322 East 2nd Street. And the bid is for $12,500. That's it.
Okay, well, it looks like the lowest price for 357 Washington is Merritt's Excavating at $8,300, and the lowest for no. Oh, I'm sorry, Wade. Yeah, 7,300. Need my glasses. 7,350 with Wade Ames, and let's see what's the
Sailor Excavating.
then Sailor 8,875. Oops, I tried, Chad. Is there, Jerry, do you have any input on that with Sailor and Wade Ames and their bids?
It was apples bid, Mayor.
Mhm.
We had one out-of-town person that wanted, it's done work in the area before, but everybody else, I believe, was either living in Miami County or local contractors that bid it. So we'll review those Monday when we get back to work to make sure everybody's T's crossed and I's dotted, and they complied with the specifications as we asked, and then move forward with it.
You've had both of these contractors do some of these, correct?
I'm
I
sorry.
know Wade has done, but this, Sailor's has done a couple for you already, haven't
Yeah,
they?
gosh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeff Saylor and his son, they both done numerous demolition projects around town, garages, houses, et cetera, so, you know.
I want to thank you for reaching out to all these people and getting so many competitive bids.
Mhm.
Looks good.
intention is to keep everything local as best we can, so.
I like it.
So we'd have them review, make sure that everything's in order with the bids, but then, given that everything is there and we've worked with these folks before on both occasions, so I don't see any reason why we wouldn't go ahead and say that Sailors has 322 and Wade Ames has 357. And then, unless there's some issue you find.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Not this time.
Dustin, do we need to make a motion to,
Accept it.
do we just accept all of them?
Accept them all and award, yeah, motion to accept the bids as is, and then, motion to award, Sailor, the 322 East Second, then, same motion for Ames, 357.
Do we want to accept the claims right now? Or accept?
Yeah, motion to accept the
Okay.
bids as is.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the bids as is?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then, do I have a motion to award Sailor Excavating for 322 East Second Street demolition and Wade Ames for the 357 Washington demolition?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Then just the electrical permit, I had a chance to take a look through that. Did you
I
look
did.
through it? Looks like you did pretty good. It's from out-of-town guy. He got, said he got 22 years of experience, did pretty good on the test. So. Does the board have any questions about the electrical test?
Nice.
It's from the fountain.
Yeah, the fountain.
Robert Shaw. What's that last name, Geisel?
Geiselbach?
Oh, Geiselbach. Okay. I don't know Robert. Any questions from the public about the electrical? Have any questions from the board?
That electrician is actually working with John Cardwell Built, who did the Hidden Creek trailer campground.
Oh, yeah. out there on
And they're actually
16
working on a house build up at Lee Woods.
Lee Woods.
Yeah.
Okay. If there's no questions, I have a motion to accept the, or approve the electrical test.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Congratulations, Robert. And is there anything else come before the board? Anything that we need to do? All right.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Our next meeting is scheduled not for the 15th, but the 23rd, is that right?
That's right. I totally forgot about that. It is.
21st?
Not the 22nd?
20, well, it's the 20, I know it's in the 20s.
There's going to be a thing on Sunday.
I know it's in the 20s, let me check really quick.
I have it down for the 21st, which is a Thursday.
That's what I have.
So it's on yours too. Yeah, 21st.
21st.
5 o'clock. That's the last day before our Christmas vacation, right?
Okay.
Lori and I were actually discussing that this morning. We had made the schedule for next year, and she noticed that we didn't put off next year's last Board of Works meeting like we had this year. And she asked me if she should change that, if it was a problem. And I suggested, I just wanted to run this past you guys since it affects you, but I suggested to not put it off because it actually makes it really hard to pay that last round of bills that late in the month and then get all of the moving around, the appropriations and things like that, that we have to do every year at the end of the year. So next year, it's going to be business as usual. It's not going to be put off that late. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's fine, because you and your office have to deal with that more than
Right.
anything else, I think,
Yeah.
so whatever works for you guys.
The only thing that it would cause us to do, we may be a day or two late on some very minor bills, which a day or two is not really late. We don't like to ever get near those dates, but it'll still be fine. We
Still be in the
have to
grace
follow-
period.
Yes.
They're not gonna
Right.
have any issues with it.
Right,
Okay.
yeah. So the calendar that you have for next year's Board of Works meeting is good
We're
to
gonna keep
stay?
it the way it
Yes,
is.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And, next Board of Works meeting will be the what did we say again? 21st?
21st.
21st?
21st. Thursday.
Put you on the spot.
Thursday, the 21st at 5 o'clock? Is that
Yep.
right?
All right, well, if there's nothing else coming before the board, got a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, folks.
It's